Okay. Good evening. We have dry weather for 10 minutes, so. This meeting is being held in accordance with the public laws of 1975, Chapter 231. An adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a notice sent to the Star Ledger, the local source, and posted in the main lobby of the municipal building and website. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for observation here and abroad. Thank you.
Sorry.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Huber.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor DuBois is absent tonight. Committeeman Capides.
Here.
Committeewoman Stampoulis. Here. Committeewoman Vasallo. Here.
Okay. We have some presentations. Certificates to the CERT members. That's Council Representative. To Craig Adams, Karen Bonacorda, and Jim Sedlak. Please come on. All right, so I got a break? I know Karen. I'll do first. We had a flood a few years ago. I met her and her husband. We stayed overnight with people over at just. Her husband has walked a lot this town. I'm sure I know Jim for years. But Karen was there, her husband was there, day in and day out. I really, I always remember that.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to do a little presentation this evening. We're going to line them up. Yeah, yeah, you're going to turn around, you face the camera. Not our first rodeo. So, back in March, we had a rather severe winter storm. We had to open a shelter, something we don't want to do. That's our thing of last resort. Because it's very labor intensive for the town and involves a tremendous amount of resources. And it's just a lot more than setting up a cot in the gym at the Chisholm Community Center. And Craig Abrams is a relatively new member, last couple of years, to emergency management. And he's just been a tremendous help. Jim Sedlak has been with us for many, many years and does a lot of work in coordinating our CERT program, keeping our command post running and keeping the trailers neat and clean and our equipment in order. And Karen has just stepped up to the plate and taken on shelter operations. And I'll read these certificates in a minute. One of the things that Craig did on his own, I didn't ask him to do this, and I really want to bring this over. He created, well, I'm going to read it. He created the book, Springfield Emergency Shelter Operations. And there is every document you would need to open up a shelter. Obviously, we're not going to sit there and read it during an emergency. It's a guidebook, it's reference material. Craig prepared it, left it for me. I sat down to look at it and started going through it and realized I would need him to have a class and explain it to all of us. It's just an incredibly in-depth manual on everything that's involved in operating a shelter. And there's all sorts of things you have to do. You have to have security, you have to have emergency service personnel, obviously food. If the Red Cross is involved, the food has to come from a certain agency. It's just a tremendous amount of work involved in operating a shelter. And Craig took it upon himself to, after seeing when we opened the shelter and what we went through, that he put this book together. So next time, everything will be right at our fingertips, and it's really a great reference material. So I wanted to acknowledge that. Karen, along with her husband Jim, and Herb Gersh, one of our CERT members, worked at our shelter. And there's just a lot of work that goes into shelter. You have people who are displaced out of their home, In some cases, people who can function okay when they're at home, and then you take them out of their home, you make them lay down on an army cot, which is very low to the ground, not too easy to do as we all get older. And, you know, where's the bathroom? Down the hall, make a left, make a right. They're out of their element. And so Karen and Herb and Jim and everybody else in our CERT emergency management team, you know, we're there overnight to help people do it, to get everything set up. She's working on getting the cots clean. There's a whole procedure for appropriately cleaning cots. And she and Craig have been working on that, and they've been trying to set up a day to do that. And they need some outdoor time when it's not raining, and that hasn't been possible lately. But there's just, you know, a lot of work that they've been putting in, so I wanted to acknowledge it. So, in no particular order, we'll see which one is first. Jim Sedlock. This is presented to Township of Springfield Volunteer Appreciation Award, presented to Jim Sedlock for your diligence and exemplary service in coordinating the Springfield CERT team, presented August 14th, 2018. Jim? Thank you, Jim. Next, Craig Abrams, for their dedication and diligence in preparing and implementing a fully detailed and complete plan for sheltering in the Township of Springfield. That's for Craig. Craig. Bet you this is Karen. And this is for Karen Bonacorda for their dedication and diligence in preparing and implementing a fully detailed and complete sheltering township plan for the Township of Springfield. This is Karen. I would ask the rest of my staff and the other CERT team members to please come up here, and Sam will take a picture. That means you, Apu, and it means you, Wally. It's very hard to get them up here.
In the picture, Tom. You don't like it. He doesn't like it. I didn't see you sitting on it.
Let me take it first, so you guys look here, and then I'll get out of the way, and then you take it to the picture, okay? No more. Thank you.
It wouldn't have been impressive to say you prepared this. Thanks.
Next. All right, Thursday night sound sponsored by Springfield Improvement District, August 23rd, 7 to 9. Excuse me. Town Hall Lawn featuring jazz vocalist Van Mesa. Hooray. Rain day will be the following Thursday. Okay. The Township extends its condolences to the family of Ann Pep, who passed away the end of July. Mrs. Pep of Martinsville had been a longtime resident of Springfield and the mother of firefighter Joe Pep, the third, deceased. The family gave a lot back to this town, the Peps. I don't know how many people remember him. I do. Joe Pep, you know how he passed away? He was at a charity basketball game over at Caldwell. And he passed away there during the game. I mean, they gave a lot to it, and his mother will be missed. All right, Board of Health proclamation for Tricia Lynn.
Should.
I'm sorry.
You should have it in your
in here.
Packet, yes. Someone wants to read it.
Patricia here too. Sorry, I apologize. Whereas Patricia Patty Lynn, a Springfield resident, and has been chair and vice chair of Springfield Board of Health. And whereas her participation and length of service during her 8 terms on the board has been much appreciated and beneficial to the residents of Springfield. Now therefore I, Sandra Harris, Vice Chair of the Springfield Board of Health, along with the entire board, do hereby proclaim our thanks and appreciation to Patty Lynn for her services since 1994 as a valid member of the Springfield Board of Health. Thank you. Patricia's not here, am I correct?
Right.
Okay. Make sure.
The board asked us to acknowledge that.
Okay. The next Township Committee meeting will be held on Tuesday, September 11th at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Monday, September 10th is Rosh Hashanah, so there will be no workshop meeting. That September 11th meeting, I'd like to meet 10 to 7, weather permitting, outside of Cross, to honor the people who passed away from Springfield, 9/11. It's very close to my heart. As many of you know, I was there, and we lost 2 people over there, and just a 10-minute service over across the street, and then we'll come right over here to the meeting. If you want to, you're welcome to come. All right, Department of Public Works. This is, I'm very appreciative. Apply for and receive approval for New Jersey Urban Community Forestry Stewardship Grant Award in the amount of $10,000 for implementation of our community forestry management plan. Thank you, Mr. Bester, you did it. You want to explain to people what that is? If you have a minute?
Yeah, just briefly. First of all, I just want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, and the Township Committee. I also want to recognize Mary Ellen Brennan and the Township grant writer on this particular grant. They were both very instrumental in getting this done. This grant came through our urban forestry program that DPW set up years ago. So this is just one of the many benefits of having a forestry program in place. This actually allows us to qualify to apply for certain grants that are out there. And this was one of the grants that we have been trying to get for years. So again, it's the urban forestry program that actually allows us to go for these grants. The forestry program is something that we have to continue to maintain every year, and we have to qualify for it. So we have to work at this program every year. This particular grant in the amount of $10,000 is going to be used to set up an eye inventory program for the department's use, which is going to identify every single tree in town, and then it'll be a program within itself for us to work off that program. We'll have pads in the field with any work that's being done. We'll immediately go onto this program. We'll be able to monitor our trees, the overall history of the trees, any new trees that are planted. It's just a really more efficient way for us to manage our forestry. We were trying to go after this program for several years. We were trying to do it at no cost to the town, and this was how we got it done, by just applying for the grant. So we'll be able to put this in place.
Thank you, Mr. Betcher. Before we go on to public comment, I don't know if everybody heard me on TV and that, but I want to thank everybody at CERT. You do a great job. You do. I mean, this town, we'd be lost without you. I mean, I've seen what you can do, and I'm sure people have. A lot of people in town said you've done a great job. Well, thank you. Okay, public comment on agenda items only. Anybody like to come up? Seeing none, I'll close that portion. Have a motion closed?
Motion to close public comment?
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Financial report?
I would like to make a motion to approve payroll and vouchers for the period from July 18, 2018 to August 14, 2018 in the amount of $21,906,250.53.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Committeewoman Stampoulis?
Yes.
Committeeman Kappadis?
Yes.
Committeewoman Vassallo?
Yes.
Mayor Huber?
Yes. Okay. Does anybody have anything, the tax collector's report for July? Marie, anything?
No.
Diane?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Officer of Emergency Management, any problem, anything with them? Okay. Fire Department? Department of Public Works? Recreation? Oh, police, the Police Department? Thank you. Engineering and zoning? And building? Okay, everybody's good with the reports?
Yeah, I'm gonna do,
What?
I'll do an
Administrative.
administrative report.
Administrator?
Don't mind.
You want this? Okay.
Yeah, it's not on there, but.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, I just want to make a comment about
Yeah.
engineering. Two comments, actually. One, PSC&G is ready to pave some of the streets that they replaced the gas mains on. They already discussed it with us and the police department. They posted some paving signs, and they talked to the residents. So just wanted to put it out that they are going to be paving in the next 2 to 3 weeks. They are not paving entire roads. Some roads, they will be paving the entire roads because we worked out arrangements with them, but they are responsible to pave half the roads from curb to center line. So that will be starting probably tomorrow. And I don't know, Mr. Cook, are you going to mention the downtown project, or you want me to talk?
If you don't mind covering the Gomes end of it.
Okay, we just wanted to let you know, give you an update that we are constantly in communication with the developer and our staff. And we held a meeting on August 10th with the developer and our redevelopment attorney and the bid personnel and Mr. Cook, just to go over where we are on the project, where we are in terms of financials, in terms of permits, and we are making the progress. And hopefully, we will keep those meetings going. Probably every 2 to 3 weeks, we'll have a progress meeting just to keep the project going. And we are hoping that by the end of this year, we'll have that building demolished.
You hope.
I'm pretty certain we will.
Sam, what, in particular, what's going on with the lines?
The power lines?
Correct.
We are still waiting for, we have the issues with the poles and the power line, as far as design, settled with JCP&L.
Right.
Verizon now, they're working on their end because they have multiple poles also on Center Street and Caldwell Place, and so they have to come up with their own design, and that's what we're waiting for.
Do we have a project completion date for Verizon to have that into us, or?
They are supposed to give us a design by Friday, this coming Friday, and we will, with the cost estimate to the developer, and then we will sit down with all the utilities and figure out, you know, when the work will start.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Is there any other department heads before we go to the administrators? Would like to speak here? Anything? No? All right. Administrator?
One thing I will add to what Mr. Mardini was speaking about, we did the August meeting that we had with Verizon, JCP&L, and teleconference with Mr. Gomes' attorney was very cooperative on from both utilities, and I thought it was very productive. I mean, came up with some great ideas that I'm kind of hoping in the end are going to save time and money for the contractor and get us able to move a little faster on getting the construction done of that building. Couple things that I just want to highlight on. Again, our farmers market, a little bit of a rocky beginning between the weather and some vendors not showing, but we are hoping to have more vendors in the process of registering. The summer concerts have been doing well and enjoying the good weather so far. I don't believe we had any rainouts on Thursday nights.
We had one that was postponed, I think.
Right, okay. Speaking of rainouts, the National Night Out was unfortunately rained out at Mizell Field. It did start for about an hour, and I would like to thank all the services that participated. We had all our first responders there, several other townships from within Union County were there as well. Unfortunately, the weather did not participate with us or cooperate with us. Touching on downtown redevelopment, I've been in communication with the parties that represent SPD BW, and that would be the Church Mall, Morris Avenue project. All the requested documentation was sent from our attorney to Mr. Larkin's attorney, as well as an irrevocable standby letter of credit was formalized, and there will be a technical review committee meeting this week, which is going to go over the proposed plans for that project. So from this point forward, we should begin to see some movement on that project. Preparations for the Fall Festival have begun. It will be on September 30th with a rain date of October 14th. On the 30th, there will also be a Veterans 5K run in the morning prior to the festival. As a reminder, the twice a week solid waste collection will end on Labor Day, September 3rd. The townwide garage sale will be held on September 8th and 9th, with the bulk pickup that will be on September 12th and 13th. Also coming up, Mayor's Day at Baltusrol is on September 4th. The new pump for the pumping station that we had a meeting on last week or so, that the pump has been ordered and should be on site and installed sometime in September. Bids have been received for the surveillance system at the town pool, and the work on that should commence shortly. Mr. Mardini, Mrs. Brennan and I had met with Bergen Tech, our IT people earlier today to discuss a cyber gap assessment which was performed on our systems. We had done fairly well per this assessment, but we do need to adopt and revise some of our policies, which we are beginning to work on now. I was going to commend Mr. Betcher as well on the $10,000 grant that we received. Excellent job on that. And as far as the other redevelopment properties, I have left messages for Mr. Veal, phone and emails, trying to find out the status of what's taking place there, and I have not received any responses. So if I do not receive a response within the next week or two, I will discuss further actions to follow with the committee. That's all I have.
Any questions, Maureen?
Thank you.
I have no questions, but I do want to just inform you regarding the payroll vouchers. The number's a little high. I just want everybody, for the public, to know we did pay off bands in the amount of $9.4 million. So, in case you question that amount.
Scott, you want anything else to say about Mayor's Day?
We do for Mayor's Day, we're sold out on the lower, but we do have maybe 3 or 4 left on the upper side.
That's good. All right. All right. Minutes and reports. Regular minutes of April 24th, 2018 is emailed.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the regular minutes of April 24, 2018 as emailed.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Workshop meeting minutes, executive minutes from May 7th, 2018, as emailed.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the workshop meeting minutes and executive meeting minutes of May 7th, 2018 as emailed.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any in favor?
I abstain.
Abstain?
Yep, I was out.
Okay. Regular minutes and executive minutes from, May 8th, as emailed.
I move to adopt the regular meeting minutes and executive meeting minutes of May 8th, 2018 as emailed.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All abstentions? Any nays? Regular meeting minutes and executive meeting minutes of May 22nd.
I would like to make a motion to adopt regular meeting minutes and executive meeting minutes of May 22nd, 2018 as emailed.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any nays? No. Workshop meetings, minutes and executive meeting minutes of June 11th.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the workshop meeting minutes and executive meeting minutes of June 11th, 2018 as emailed.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any nays? Regular minutes of the June 18th, 2018 as emailed.
I make a motion to adopt the regular meeting minutes of June 18th, 2018 as emailed.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any nays? Okay, new business.
Okay, this is a second reading on ordinance 2018-15. This ordinance amends Chapter 6, Alcohol Beverage Control of the General Ordinance of the Township at Section 6-4 by modifying the Sunday hours of sale.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2018-15 as read by Madam Clerk for publication in the local source August 23rd, 2018.
I will second that.
All right, before there goes a public comment, this is just for brunches, am I correct?
Sunday hours.
Sunday hours.
Brunch.
We cannot regulate, there's been a lot of chatter,
Yes.
but we cannot regulate the sale of alcohol on Sunday by retail licensees. That is, as the police department informed me, that is regulated by the state of New Jersey,
Yes.
not by us.
This is just as good, like a brunch, if they had a brunch at 11 o'clock, they couldn't serve champagne brunch or whatever, a lot of places have that. That's what I want everybody to understand. All right, now we'll open it up to the public. Any comment about this? Seeing none? Discussion? Maria?
No.
Chris? I have no discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Committeeman Capides.
Yes.
Committeewoman Stampoulis.
Yes.
Committeewoman Vasallo.
Yes.
Mayor Huber.
Yes.
Okay. This is the first reading on ordinance 2018-16. This ordinance makes changes to some of the fees for the Springfield Recreation Department and the Springfield Community Pool.
I move ordinance 2018-16 as read by Madam Clerk.
I second.
Sorry. It's publicized in the local source, August 23rd, 2018, with final hearing on September 11th, 2018.
I second.
All right, discussion up here? Maria, anything?
No, not at this time.
Chris?
No.
Diane?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay.
Should we just make a brief statement possibly to the public as to what this ordinance is about?
All right, well, you and, Erica, rec committee, so.
Right. So this is basically for a 2018 Union County Kids Recreation Trust Fund. This is to install different things, within the town. We had a choice as to what we wanted to install. And Eric and I went back and forth, and we had decided that, we have a...
That's not it. Excuse me.
Oh, it's not.
No, this is the ordinance.
For the fees of the Springfield
Fees,
pool.
that's
Oh,
coming
this
up.
is for the pool. I'm sorry. I thought it was for the trust fund.
No.
So, no.
Good. Linda?
This is for the rental,
For the room.
Yeah.
for the room.
Right.
Because I don't believe that it was addressed when it's non-season, if I'm correct.
Right.
So this is for non-season rental.
Non-season
rental.
usage. So Eric and I had discussed possible ways for revenue for the pool off-season, and this was one of the things that we came up with. So,
All right, anybody have anything to say?
no, that's it.
Okay, roll call, please.
Okay. Committeewoman Vasallo.
Yes.
Committeeman Capides.
Yes.
Committeewoman Stampoulis.
Yes.
Mayor Huber.
Yes. All right, on resolutions, I'll go through them, 2018-11, 2018-12, 2018-13, 2018-14, 2018-15, 2018-16. That's your trust fund. 2018-17, 2018-18.
Can we pull that?
Okay. 2018 to 19,
Can we pull that as well?
2018 to 20, 2018 to 21, 2018 to 22, 2018 to 23, 2018 to 24, 2018 to 25, 2018 to 26, 2018 to 27, 2018 to 28, 2018 to 29, 2018 to 30. So, can I have a motion?
I would like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2018-211, 212, 213, 214, 215, 216, 217, 220, 221, 222, 223, 224, 225, 226, 227, 228, 229, and 230.
Have a second?
I second.
Roll call, please.
Committeewoman Stampoulis?
Yes.
Committeeman Capadese?
Yes.
Committeewoman Vasallo?
Yes.
Mayor Huber?
Yes. All right, can you read 218, please?
This will be Resolution 2018-218. This resolution authorizes and directs the acting township administrator to continue assessing the township's personnel evaluation processes and to take appropriate actions concerning evaluative materials made by the previous township administrator regarding department heads and similarly situated supervisory officials.
Can I have a motion?
I would like to make a motion to adopt Resolution 2018-218 as read by Madam Clerk.
Second.
Discussion?
I just had a quick question in regard to this. I read through the resolution itself in its entirety, and I guess my question is, number one, this pertains to a very broad, large scope of personnel issues within the township. So this is in regard to an evaluation process held by our former administrator, who's no longer with us. Because this is a personnel issue, was there extensive conversation leading up to this resolution, or were the decisions made by the prior administrator not held any weight in regard to his?
I don't think you finished all of the evaluations, to be very honest with you.
Right. So for the evaluations that this individual performed prior to his departure, why? And then maybe I'm reading this incorrectly when I'm reading the resolution. It's mentioning that the township administrator shall make appropriate efforts to ensure any digital electronic versions of the aforementioned evaluative materials are identified and discarded in a manner consistent with New Jersey records retention regulations. So I'm just wondering if there's somebody that could give me further information on that, and for the benefit of our public, that if somebody had a very good review, and again, I don't know if this is something we could speak about in public because this is personnel issues, however, it is on our agenda. Since I haven't had any conversations in regard to this, and it is on our agenda as a resolution tonight, I can't understand then why, if it's on our agenda, that we couldn't speak about this publicly. So if somebody had a very good review, is that review now discarded?
No, we're not
No,
talking
I
about
don't
anybody.
think you're reading it correctly. To me, this sounds like he's continuing the process of interviewing the people who haven't been interviewed yet.
Oh, so he's, okay, so,
He's continuing.
Yeah, I mean, I can respond basically.
Please, yes.
Being it's a personnel issue, like you said.
There are limits on what we can discuss, as committee woman, as you mentioned a second ago, there are limits in what we can discuss in open session.
but we can
There are
clarify
unanswered-
what's in the current resolution, correct? Because that's public
Correct.
information.
I just wanted to make sure that that was clear.
And it's, I believe it's the 1, 2, 3, and again, I have just mentioned, maybe I'm reading this incorrectly, and I'm asking for clarification. I'm not one to say I know everything in the world, but if I have a clarification, I'd like to know, that's all.
No, you can do it. We want him to?
Speak to it and then I'll address it.
Yeah, okay, sure. Again, limited as to what we can discuss about it, but at the time of these evaluations, there were several concerns that were raised by employees and some committee members as well. And as far as I am aware, the process, which was a new evaluation process was never approved by the Township Committee.
Is that something that had, just because I know, I know that process, and it's something that's used widely, and I don't know if there's an individual that had a very good review, that it would harm them in any way, and that's why I go back to this second to last paragraph, that the evaluative materials are identified and discarded in a manner consistent with New Jersey's record retention regulations. So, Ms. Stampoulos, you believe I've read it wrong, so can you clarify that paragraph for me, please?
You want me to clarify
Well,
it?
you just told me you believe
I
I
was reading
I
the
read it wrong,
resolution.
so I'm asking
I
for your
thought he was
clarification.
continuing the interviews that weren't done. And I'm correct, they were not completed.
That's-
So
Correct.
is it, are
There
you
was
starting
some-
That's what he's
over?
gonna just
So,
complete
so
that.
all of the reviews that are there, that's my clarification question. All the reviews that are there are not going to be discarded in a manner consistent with New Jersey's records retention regulations.
That's
I'm confused
just
about that.
regarding the digital, if you read the third paragraph, anything
That's
that's
my
in
question.
anything that's in the file,
Right,
hard copies will remain in the file.
They are.
A notation may be made on them, but they won't be discarded. Anything that's digital, that was referred to where you had seen that, that's what it refers to as being discarded.
I'm just very, that was, when I read this today, it concerned me, because it sounds as if we're discarding some sort of evaluative material of our personnel. So I want to make sure that that's not the case, and, the public understands that as well, because it's in the resolution.
If I can just clarify quickly, that component of the resolution ensures that there aren't multiple copies floating around. That whatever's in the personnel file will not be discarded
I think then, if that's the case, that we should,
under that section.
we should maybe modify that section, because it sounds as if there's individuals that may have had their reviews in the past and had a very good review, and and there's no reason to, I'm reading that.
And I can't myself find the resolution right now.
Here,
I think it's,
I think the resolution,
when it says, if I may, it says that, I guess, evaluations that are identified, and I can't find it in here, but I think there was something that said
Here, that just concerned me, being a department head myself at one point, and having multiple individuals report to me, I'd hate to have somebody else come in after me, even though they may or may not agree, and discard everything. That's my concern.
Well, my question, I guess, for clarification is, it says, make appropriate efforts to ensure that any digital electronic versions of the aforementioned evaluative materials are identified and discarded. So I guess if something is identified as, someone...
That's the part I'm confused about, the
Well, no, if
identification and what's
they would only
discarded.
discard the ones that are identified.
the personnel files have to be maintained in paper form, so it's any other versions, copies of those materials will be dealt with appropriately by the existing township administrator. And to the extent that there's any questions about what should or shouldn't be and how things should or shouldn't be treated, I believe the resolution also includes and authorizes, in fact, directs the acting township administrator to consult with our labor council and or myself to ensure that process.
So there's nothing the only thing that's being discarded is, can you just...
If there are digital or electronic, sometimes referred to differently, digital/electronic
Computer
copies.
and things like that, it's on there, it's being disregarded. You have to keep your paper copy.
Right. But isn't that kind of the opposite of what we do now? Don't we keep things digitally as opposed to paper? And we send things off-site?
As far as I know, personnel records are maintained under lock and key
Right.
in hard copy form.
Right. Call for, do I have to call for a vote, or?
Okay,
or vote?
on Resolution 2018-218, Committeewoman Stampoulos?
Yes.
Committeeman Capides?
Yes.
Committeewoman Vassallo?
No.
Mayor Huber?
Yes,
Resolution is adopted.
2019.
Resolution 2018-219, 219. This resolution is to appoint Brendan O'Reilly as part-time program coordinator for the pool in the Springfield Recreation Department.
I pulled this just because I wanted to let the public know that it's not as if, you know, and I don't know at this point if we can talk in particular.
Well, we have to, first, you have to
go ahead.
have it, adopt it. So you have to,
Make a motion.
Yep, I move Resolution 2018-220 is read by Madam Clerk.
219.
I second.
Okay. So, where am I
All right.
here?
Okay.
I'm sorry, 219, I said 220. I said 220 by mistake. This particular appointment is for an individual that's going to be a part-time position within the rec department. It's not a full-time position, and it's not just for, and I just want to clarify this, just for the summer pool hours. This is for a full-time individual for the pool and the rec department as well, right? So any activities that go on in the pool all year round and the rec department. This is what this particular position is for. So it's not just a part-time program coordinator for pool during the summer hours.
Right, it's not seasonal.
Correct, it's for all year round, so I just wanted the public to understand that as we have a new pool complex and we have a new room within the pool that we can utilize for different functions, that this individual is not an add-on to our rec department, but an actual backfill. So,
Okay.
okay?
Okay, great, thank you.
No.
Diane, anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay, roll call.
Committeewoman Vassallo?
Yes.
Committeeman Capides?
Yes.
Committeewoman Stampoulis?
Yes.
Mayor Huber?
Yes. Discussion and action. All right.
Capides?
Anything to speak about, or should I just, do you want to speak about it first, or should I make the motion?
Lynn, did you read this or do I read? I don't know.
I mean, I did.
This discussion action item is to discuss and approve a request from Chief Cook to have investigator John Patrick attend 2018 FBI skimming coordination meeting in Detroit, Michigan on September 12th and 13th with travel dates on September and 11th and 14th. All costs for training will be covered by the FBI.
I make a motion to approve the discussion and action item read by Madam Clerk.
And I will second that.
Any discussion up here? Maria?
If Chief Cook can just
Chief Cook? you wanna-
just
you
explain
wanna just-
basically what
Right,
is.
I mean, skimming is, we've had a lot of dealings with skimming, which is taking credit card information, whether by a skimming device that happens when you give your credit card to a server, a gas station attendant, or whatever, and that person takes your card and goes somewhere with it. Not that they're all, you know, criminally minded, but there is that opportunity where they have a device, it's a pocket-sized device where they can more or less take the magnetic information off the back of your card, and they can then take that information, download it, and put it onto a counterfeit card. And skimming's been very big, and you've seen it a lot recently with certain Eastern European gangs that have been doing it at ATMs. They've been putting cameras and skimming devices. So it's becoming a big problem, and the FBI, and it's something that we deal with in town quite a bit as well. So the FBI is running this coordination meeting with agencies from around the country to discuss ways that we can combat that. So information that he'll get at this conference, he'll come back and, you know, we'll be better able to inform the public on, hey, this is ways you can try to prevent it from happening to you. So that's more or less what this conference is about. It's a nationwide problem, obviously. It's probably a worldwide problem, but it's becoming more prevalent.
Anybody else? No? Roll call?
Committeeman Capides?
Yes.
Committeewoman Stampoulis?
Yes.
Committeewoman Vassallo?
Yes.
Mayor Huber?
Yes.
The next discussion action item is to approve the Union County Memorandum of Understanding and hold harmless agreement for the leaf composting facility. As the host community, the township will not be charged for leaf disposal. And we do this every year.
I move to adopt the Union County Memorandum of Understanding and Hold Harmless Agreement for Leaf Composting Facility. As host community, the township will not be charged for leaf disposal.
I second.
Favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? I'd just like one more thing before I forget, and I forgot. I'm sorry, Chief. But the police had the Junior Police Academy, I guess you call it?
Yes.
It was the end of July.
July.
Right, I know it was the end of July. I'd like to commend them. I hear good things about it. I couldn't make the graduation this year, but it's good. The kids in town, we take kids from Union County too, don't we? Besides the town.
Yeah, well, if there's room, we'll open it up to other townships.
I mean, you know, they did it. I'd just like to say thank you, please, thank the force, please, we'll let them know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the guys, they did a great job. Again, a lot of positive feedback from the parents. Some of the kids now want to get themselves geared into a discipline type of regiment. Like, I've been getting questions now about ROTC programs because of this program. So it's definitely very healthy, you know, physically and mentally for the kids, and they come out of it with a pretty good attitude about themselves, which is what it's about. So.
Okay. Correspondence. Event links. Union County Red Ribbon Drug Prevention Walk, October 20th, 10 a.m. at Mohegan Park in Cranford. All right. Any unfinished business? Maria, have anything? No.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Public comment on any government issue.
Wendy Jones, 158 Milltown Road, Springfield, New Jersey. Two things. I'm not quite sure. The community management, managing the forest, that includes every tree, the trees in front of the houses too? Is that?
If they're township trees.
And not county trees, is what you're saying?
No, county maintains their own.
Okay, now, the tree in front of 158 Milltown Road, is that a county tree, or do you know?
That's a township road, that's a township tree.
It's
If it's within our easement.
Okay, so we'll look at it, because it does need a little trimming, because it's going to do something with the wires. Although I hate to cut trees, but sometimes you have to. The second thing is, now what's happening with Sarah Bailey?
Right, sir?
Sarah Bailey, what's
Right
happening?
now?
Yeah.
Nothing's being
done or
talked
contemplated.
about that, to be ever honest with you.
Okay, all right, because there's still people who are very interested in it being an art center, and as I said, we have, you know, a lot of very creative people, including the young people, because I was involved with the contest for Stigma Free, and we had wonderful, wonderful applications. I mean, everybody has an art center but Springfield. I mean, you know, Summit has one, Westfield has one. We need an art center. Got a lot of creative people here. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? On any government thing anyway? I know Michael will be coming.
Mike Bartosh, 77 Tudor Court. I was wondering whether or not I can ask a question in reference to 2018-218.
218?
Which was on the agenda for tonight?
Yeah.
Why are you, well, let me present this to you. I was in the military, and all of our records in St. Louis were burnt. And it took me, that building caught on fire. All the records were lost. There was nothing digital or anything. So my question to you, and it took me a year, and I had to go through my assemblyman, my congressman, and also to my state senators to prove to the VA that I served in Vietnam. What happens if this building burns down, or where those records are being kept, and you have no backup? Or are they sent to, or is there another copy that's sent to an off-site location?
This is the first I've heard of any place actually having just paper copy. That's why I question this
Well,
resolution.
that's why,
Because most things are kept electronically, so this is going 10 step backwards for our township.
We have to look into something to back it up with something. And you ever file, I talked to a lawyer when I read this, and he said that we would, we have to look into it. Nothing has ever been backed up like that. We backed up old records when the flood used to come here. Now we don't get floods in the building.
Backed up like what? Electronically?
I don't know the extent, I don't know the extent
That's why this
to
is
which,
such an oddity that I can't
which-
understand the resolution.
we're going to look into the issue of
But it
of
passed.
of
We're gonna
backup
look
and where
we're
the
gonna
backup
look
is.
so you're gonna look
Yes.
into these
Good job.
being backed up and these digital records are not
Yes.
gonna be destroyed?
We're going to look into the issue of ensuring that the integrity of the records is maintained, and if that includes.
But not just that one okay, the integrity
Yeah.
of, okay,
All right.
I got that.
And make sure that it's done in a manner that's consistent with our policies and consistent with New Jersey law.
Okay. My second question is, maybe about 7 or 8 months ago, we talked about Hillside and South Springfield Avenues, that either the county was going to do a study,
They're doing a study, I talked to Bruce Bergen. They are
going left and right
Yes,
hand
and
turn.
because I've even brought it up to them, to a few freeholders. I said, I happen to be on the street, and I said, I would hate driving down the street at 8 o'clock in the morning, between 8 and 9 in the morning. And that's when school's going in, especially then. Going right there at the light, make a right, and go past the school. I agree with you, 100%.
So is,
But it's not our road to dictate. We're waiting for them to get back to us what they can do.
It may not be our road to dictate, but is there anything we could do as a local municipality to put our finger on the pulse of what's going on that street? Have a cop there, a speed trap, something there to make the people that travel on that road aware of, it doesn't have to be directly related to the issue, but just something to have their awareness of, again, as like a speed trap or something there to make the residents cognizant of
well,
street and the
I don't know, I don't think it's a speed trap that's required. I think it's just that,
That's what I'm saying.
the lane on the inside, when I'm coming out of my complex and I'm going up Hillside Avenue towards South Springfield, that right lane is for right turn only. And I think it should be for either straight ahead and right-hand turn only, and the other lane should be for left turn only.
It should.
That's the problem, because you get a truck, tractor trailers that run that,
Right.
and he's trying to make a left-hand turn, and you got 20 cars behind you.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not only blocking people's driveways that live on Hillside Avenue.
Yes.
Okay,
Mike,
that
I will-
can't
is
get
that-
out of
that's
there,
the county,
and they can't move.
I'll go to the next county meeting with you.
Well, if I can comment on that as well. Several months back, I know we passed a resolution, I believe, asking for the survey. The county has, I don't know what phase they're in of doing their survey, but we totally agree with what you said. And that's the way it used to be several years back. It was correct. It was the right lane and straight and right from the one lane, and left only from the left lane. For whatever reason it got changed, the county just up and changed it, and we've been arguing that for a while now. So the county is in some process of doing a survey. I don't know why a survey needs to be done, but that's the way they handle it. And I'll have my traffic unit follow up with them tomorrow to see where they are with it.
Thank you very much.
Because I agree, it creates
Yeah,
log jam
it just
there.
doesn't make any sense.
It's unnecessary.
My third question is, there was a gentleman that put something up on social media about people protesting. The visit, supposedly, Mike Pence was
Penn was
going
coming
to
here,
Baltus
yes.
Hall, which never happened.
Right.
My question is, they did a photo op in Veterans Park. Did they require a permit from the town to do that photo op in Veterans Park?
I don't think so.
Public park.
And if they did, I would like to know who gave it to them. Secondly, I don't think they should be doing a photo op like that in Veterans Park, out of respect for the people that died for this country.
I believe they were protesting as well, not just.
Yes, they were protesting.
They were protesting.
But Baltimore Straw.
But I can live with them walking up and down the sidewalk, that's fine. But once you're standing by a monument
Right.
with people that died for this
Yes.
country,
Yep, I agree.
I agree with
to be doing a photo op, okay? You've had 3 other corners that you could have gone to. You could have gone over by the synagogue, you could have gone on the other side of the street. You had 2 corners to go to. If the meeting was being held at Baltusrol, then why the hell weren't you up at the gate to the entrance of Baltusrol? Why are you in Veterans Park?
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, and that meeting never happened, so their sources were incorrect.
No, I understand that. The meeting didn't
Yeah.
happen. I realize that. I know that. But they were still there in Veterans Park, which upset me to no end.
Nobody came in for a
No, nobody came.
Because when Uncle Sam said to me at 18 years of age, "You're going," I went.
Yeah, I believe they.
And I think that was out of disrespect for every veteran in the United States, and not only in Springfield. That's all I got to say. Thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you.
Now, let me ask a question. If they were going to demonstrate, do they need to come for a permit?
I understood they were given permission to be on the property of one of the temples, not the park.
Okay.
They may have gone to the
I
park.
don't know, you know.
They may have gone to the park for the
So-
pictures, but, yeah, there was no, we gave no permits, but I had, from meetings that I had heard about, I believe they had gotten permission to be on someone's private property, not the park property.
Anyone else from the public? Yeah.
Hi, Matt Cass, 832 Mountain Avenue, Springfield, New Jersey. I just wanted to clarify and set the record straight. My parents and I are members of Temple Sheri Shalom, near where the event took place. We did not give them permission to be on our private property. As you're all aware, churches, synagogues, and other religious organizations cannot give particular credence or bias to one side or the other, or risk their tax-exempt status as a result, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
No insult intended. I'm saying I had heard that from, and I didn't say which property, I just heard from many of the many meetings that had taken place, that's.
Anyone else?
We knew they were gonna be there, and that's how I heard they were gonna be there.
Nothing negative tonight. You can put your Chiefs hat on for this one. Just
Name
want
and
to
address.
commend Leroy Lewis, 28 Warwick Circle, Springfield.
Thank you.
Just want to commend your officers, Chief. 3 weeks ago, I was rushed to the hospital for a medical issue, and 2 of your officers, when I came home, stopped to see how I was doing. My wife thought that was phenomenal. I thought it was unbelievable. Please pass it along to your force that they're greatly respected.
Thank you.
From,
Yeah, I'm
my
not
family
surprised that they did that, but I'm glad to hear, still glad to hear that they did, but I'm not surprised. We have,
Really, out of the blue, I didn't expect it.
and I'm glad to see you're here able to tell us
Thank you.
that, too.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're doing well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for that.
Actually, I just want to make a comment too. I read online that officers were going around and giving the children little Slurpee things,
Oh,
coupons, if they had a helmet.
7-Eleven
So I thought
coupons,
that was
yes.
a really great idea for the kids. There's been a lot of talk about kids riding in town not wearing a helmet, and officers were going around and commending the ones that did with a Slurpee coupon. So that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's something 7-Eleven comes up with and works in conjunction. They know that we are out there, so it's it's their idea, and we're more than happy to support it. So it's
Great
definitely
idea.
a great cause.
All right. Anyone else? Seeing none?
Just one reminder that I believe September 6th, school will be open again. So that's, I won't be able to say that. The next meeting will be too late. So just as a reminder, you'll start to see the kids out in the street again, walking, crossing, probably in between cars, even though, we tell them as much as we can not to do that. So just be aware as you're driving during that time frame.
And also, I'm also going to talk with the chief because I want tickets given out. People in crosswalks, we have to stop for. I've been going along and not concentrating, and I've gone past somebody who's that, and I've been wrong. But I want tickets given out. If it's me, it's me. Anybody. I'm not.
You should just walk around with a ticket booth.
No, but I mean, it's very dangerous. If you go to that high school in the morning and just say, I know the police officer's there because he crosses my wife at, I think he's there at 8 o'clock. Or 5 to 8 o'clock up in 10th grade. But if a kid's 10 minutes late or something like that, he could get killed. And I don't want that on my conscience. So please be careful. Okay, Linda.
Okay, resolution 81418, whereas Article 6 of the Open Public Meetings Act provides that a public body may hold a closed session, and whereas the Township Committee will, during this meeting, enter into discussion of the following matters: contract negotiations 302, 308 Morris Avenue, whereas the matters to be discussed in closed session are to remain in the strictest of confidence by all Township Committee members in furtherance of their fiduciary duties to the Township. Now, therefore, be it resolved, matters discussed at this meeting will be released to the public when the reasons for discussing and acting upon them in closed session no longer exist.
I make a motion to go into executive session.
A second.
And I don't believe we'll be taking any action